everyone please take the pen or pencil, if you still use pencils, from around you. I've tried to lay them out everywhere. Please hold it up in the air. Okay, I need to see everybody hold a pen. I can actually see you. I can see you, okay? All right, this is better if you have a pen, if you prefer to use some other kind of device, okay? And now if you have a piece of paper, hold up your piece of paper, okay? So now you should have both of them in both hands. Okay, this is great. You guys are on top of it. Okay, now you can go ahead and put it down, and I want you to think the first thing that comes to your mind, the thing that drives you crazy at your work. The thing that you cannot accept in your current project. Don't overthink it. Just write down the thing that you cannot accept. All right. So everyone, put your pen up in the air when you're done. Don't overthink it, guys. This is not, no one's going to look at this. I'm not giving this to your boss. All right. Looks like pretty much everyone's done. Okay, great. Now, I want everybody to stand up. We've all been sitting down way too long today. And I want you to take your right hand and wave your right hand at me. Okay, I want you to take your right hand and take your thumb and put it at your belly button. And then drop it down. So you are now like putting your hand on your stomach. And now we're going to take 3 deep breaths into our hand. You actually need your hand to move out and then back in. Okay, you ready? It has to move. Okay, I think that should be 3. Okay, so now, before I have you sit down, I want you to actually just stretch out your hands, move them around, shake them, and then drop them. Okay, do it again. Stretch, and then drop them. Okay, now I want you all to look at the piece of paper. Don't sit down. Look at the piece of paper, and I want you to really visualize whatever it is that you wrote. The thing that's driving you nuts at work right now. I want you to visualize it, and then close your eyes, and you're going to repeat after me. I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to repeat after me. I accept it. Okay? I'm serious. We're going to do this together. Okay? I'll get to why this is important. So close your eyes. Repeat after me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I accept it! Okay, that was, oh my gosh. We are architects. Come on, guys. We can do better. You ready? 1, 2, 3. I accept it! Okay, good. Now you guys can sit down. Today we heard an amazing speech by Joe earlier, and he was talking about being relevant, or he talked about the changes that are coming to our industry and have come and are going by us. If you think about your career path, do you worry about staying relevant? Do you worry about keeping up with this rapid change that's happening around us? Is this something anybody's concerned about out there? I think it's the reason we're all here at SATURN. This is my 5th year, I think. So being relevant, staying on top of things, it's all about Zen. I bet you guys didn't know that, right? The practice of Zen is the practice of mindfulness, of being present. And a way to become present is that deep breathing exercise I had you do. So it's something you can do at any moment during the day when you want to stay present. So think about this. If you're spending all your time worrying about the future or worrying about the past, then when are you going to be able to make changes that are going to impact your project? How are you going to be creative? So this has been on my mind a lot, and last year I gave a speech with the same title, I don't know if you guys remember it, about the Zen of software architecture, only that time I didn't know what the slides were. Anyways, so I actually have been thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking about how do I bring Zen, the mindfulness, the thinking about the moment, this moment right now. How do I respect this moment, that this moment matters? How do I bring that into my job? into work. And so I actually wrote a book last summer called The Zen of Software Development, and it's a 7-day journey. It actually has the exercise we just did where you wrote down that thing on the piece of paper, but you do that around all kinds of different aspects of your work, and then you have to accept them. So how many of you are wondering why I had you do that? Anybody? All right, the reason why, because if you cannot accept something, and think about the words I said, they drive you crazy, you can't accept it, and you don't believe it. How are you going to take action on that? If you don't even believe this thing is happening in your industry or in your work, in your project, how can you actually take action on it? This is the challenge for architects, because we have so much change going on, and if we're constantly dreaming about the future when everybody starts cooperating, when management funds us properly, when we hire the people we know we should have, if we're wasting all our time waiting for that to happen, if we spend all our time wishing for the past to come back, all those great things like the good old days when I was the boss and everyone listened to me or whatever it was, if we spend all of our energy fighting reality, this moment, then we're never going to be effective and we won't be relevant. So you should have been there. Okay, actually, this is a great book I just read earlier this year, and one of the big points is about always doing your best. So I'm going to talk now about how you can be present and do your best and stay relevant in your job. So it was 2006. You should have been there. I just quit my extraordinarily high-paying Java development job to get into the bigger picture of software design. At least that's what I thought. I joined the software requirements analyst team at Verizon. And I was excited because I was going to be involved in the bigger picture, and I knew there was so much more to software engineering than just writing code. And about a month into it, I became extremely depressed. And the reason why is because I had to accept the reality that my job was actually more of a secretary. Yeah, I was writing the notes down from the geniuses on high who told me what to write down, and I didn't get any say in anything. So I'd taken a huge chance by quitting being a Java software engineer, and I was now having this new job, and it was like just blow after blow. And I felt so terrible, like I was in the pits of despair. Now, I had two choices. I could do what my coworkers were doing in the team and just relax between calls, play video games or do whatever, or I could do my best. Now, even though the project and the role itself was very bad, I decided to do my best, even though my friends and coworkers told me, just relax, Bett. Well, I actually went around and learned every system. I would sit with the developers and understand how did their systems work. And after 1 year of doing this, I actually became an expert on all the different systems in the whole project. Even though I didn't get to say anything about it, I actually understood them all. So when the architecture team had an opening, they recommended me for the job, and I ended up becoming an architect. So that was 10 years ago. So it's very exciting. So the thing is this, I did my best. I didn't wait for the role to change, like, well, as soon as I get a better role, then I'll start doing my best. I did my best right then, and I was able to succeed. So think about maybe a current thing that's happening in your job that you're like, oh, this is not where I want to be. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to punish them and hope that things will change. This is not going to work, unfortunately. Now let's jump to October of last year. I joined GE as a software architect. It's an amazing, exciting project Joe was talking about earlier about the industrial internet. And I'm working with these brilliant people. Everyone in the team is a genius. So we all had to come up with our proposals for the next few months. So I sat down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to come up with something really brilliant, like something my coworker would come up with. So I started working really hard at coming up with things my coworkers would think of. Because I was not a genius like them. I came from Verizon, where I used the most old legacy software you can imagine. Like, we did really old things. But all this new stuff is here, and it's exciting, and I just feel like I'm just not good enough. My best is terrible. So I had to make a decision again. Was I going to accept reality? Was I going to accept myself? Or was I going to just completely, just keep trying to do my coworkers' best? So I had to accept my best, which was really hard because I was trying to do better than my best. And once I tapped into what my best was, I was able to come up with designs around how do I meet the users who are like people at Verizon. If you think about industrial companies, they're all like me. They don't know anything about the latest technologies. So I started thinking of how do I help these kind of people like me use the best technologies? How do I build tools and make them productive quicker? So actually, by tapping into and accepting who I am, I was able to do that. And my team members are really excited. I'm able to do really cool things right now. So I want you to think about this. Are you waiting for yourself to become a better person? Like, how many people have you met that it's like, as soon as I retire, I'm going to have a good time? Or when I lose 20 pounds, then my life will be great. Whatever those is, stop waiting. Do it now. This moment matters. This is the only moment that you can make a difference. So I hope that you will take this and act and make an amazing change in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Bett. We have time for one question. Rick, can you walk to that microphone?
If I accept the thing that I hate, then I'm not doing my best. My best is to try and change the thing that that drives me crazy, I believe.
So
How do you reconcile those?
This is the one hand clapping, right? To accept reality is not to actually think that you're not going to change it. But if you keep pretending like it's not there, then you can't change it. You have to first accept it and say, like, this is really happening, even though I don't want it to, and then you can start taking action. So if you guys wrote that thing down, spend some time thinking about it. Is this something that you can take action on now that you've accepted it? And this is, I have a lot of exercises in my book where you can write down lists of all these things that are driving you crazy and then work on each of them.